Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first EnterDAO project update call. We have the whole gang in here, and today we're going to first give a brief overview of what EnterDAO is and what we're building, do a short intro of the team and the people working on it, and then wrap it up with a status update on where we're at with everything, and just leave it at that. So without further ado, EnterDAO is a decentralized autonomous organization living on the Ethereum blockchain, built with the mission to develop products enabling new markets within the Web3 Metaverse. With that being said, we have two products that we're working on. First one is called Landworks, which is essentially a renting marketplace for land within Metaverse games. We'll be starting out with Decentraland land and then basically integrating other games as we go. The second product that we have is called Meta Portal, and it's going to be a desktop application enabling a single point of access to all Metaverse, Web3 Metaverse games. So you can think of it as a Steam for Metaverse games. And along that, we're also going to be dropping an NFT drop called MetaPass, which will serve both as a collectible and as a pass to different Metaverse events and perks within the EnterDAO universe. That's pretty much what we're building. We also just launched our yield farming and DAO staking platforms, but I'm going to talk more about those in the end of the call. So first, we'll start with an intro of the team. I'll start with myself and then pass it over to other people. I'm Živko, mostly the operational lead at EnterDAO, basically overseeing community stuff, partnership, business development, operations, and stuff like that. Yep, and that's me. I pass the ball to George.
Hey, dude, Slack. I'm George. I'm pretty much overseeing all the products and the product ideas from technical standpoint, essentially figuring out how stuff are going to be built, and also essentially caring for the whole ecosystem. And yeah, exciting times ahead. Let's move to Tyler. Let's go next.
Hey everybody. I joined this project because George and Z are absolutely some of my favorite people in the entire ecosystem. We've worked together a long time. For anybody that doesn't know me, I've founded a DeFi protocol called Barnbridge, and I also founded I would almost call it a universe of a metaverse project called Universe. And George and Z have worked with me on both of those projects. So I think through working through some of that, we found this gap in the market, which we'll talk about, like what we're building in a second. And yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of it because I believe in super high quality developers building super fun and exciting things. So I'm here for the ride to help everywhere that I can.
Nice. Who do you pass the ball to?
Oh, Liam, because I can see him on my screen.
Hey guys, I'm Liam Donald. Basically, I'm the newly hired community manager for EnterDAO. So basically, I just oversee the Discord and pretty much moderate that, run community campaigns and giveaways, all that sort of stuff, as well as I do the weekly newsletter as well that will start later on this week. So yeah, that's pretty much for me. My background is just I write newsletters like privately. That's kind of how I got into doing this gig. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I just want to give a special shout out to Liam. Liam is somebody who we hired off the Discord because he was super helpful to the community early on without us asking for it. And he writes killer content. He writes for both Polygon and a project called Nifty Island. So he's doing super great content job in the Metaverse space. So we're really happy to have him on, and a really special shout out for him taking this call at 1 a.m. his time as he's based in Australia. We appreciate that.
It's all good. Thanks for having me.
We love the Aussies in the DGen space.
Yeah. There's not as many of us, so and it's
I
funny
think
because
there's
it's
a lot
literally
of
the
them.
worst time zone.
We got like DeFi Ted who did cover and Ruler. There's
And Aaron. Is it Aaron or is he New Zealand?
He's a Kiwi. So the Kiwis actually are good too. That whole area, like the Kiwis also.
Yeah.
So Aaron McDonald that has helped on a ton of projects and he invested in this one. He's the guy who did like Fluffs and alternate state machine or altered state machine. And then there's also the Crypto Voxel guys are in New Zealand. And then in Australia, you have the Immutable X guys.
They're Sydney, aren't they? That's right.
There's Guild of Guardians is there.
Illuvium is there, isn't it?
Huh?
Illuvium is there as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I mean that's I love the Warwick brothers. So you've got Illuvium, Synthetics, and then Lyra and Thales kind of stemmed out of that community. And then there's Bancor in Australia. So Australia and New Zealand are like a sleeping giant that would far eclipse like any European country I could think of in terms of the output they've done for the ecosystem.
That's true.
cool. Nick
Liam.
or
Nick.
All right. Hey everyone, I'm Nick. In the DAO, I'm dealing with the biz dev, with the marketing, with ops, and everything I can support with. So out to the DAO, I'm one of the founders of LineChain. Been in this space for quite some time now, like 1,000 years in human ones. Yeah, really excited to be here. It's kind of a new space for me, but it's quite exciting, and yeah, looking forward to it. And I'm passing it to Vlad.
Okay, I'm Vlad, and I have experience in different technologies. I'm committed to the progress of Metaportal and EnterDAO as well. Let's move to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm mainly like helping in the Solidity part, Solidity architect and Solidity developer, also assisting on the operation side where I'm needed. So yeah, Radi, you can go.
Okay, hey everyone. My name is Radina, what people call me Adi. I'm a business analyst. I'm mainly responsible for the documentation and the requirement specification. And I'm currently working on the NFT drop MetaPass. And that's all.
I dare to say that you're in charge of MetaPass, though. It's not a documentation thing. You like whatever MetaPass is, it's your brainchild. So don't be that modest.
Well, Zivko is helping me a lot. So
okay, yeah. He's helping all of us.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's true.
Last but not least, Veli.
Yeah, hi guys. So my name is Verisław, but yeah, people call me Veli for short, and I'm involved in the day-to-day project management part in the DAO. I'm also working with the team on creating the roadmaps and coordinating everything within the team to make sure that we move forward, basically. So yeah, this is my part.
Nice.
Awesome
So
stuff.
you have the ball now.
I also want to shout out Daniel, who is the founder of EnterDAO, but who couldn't be on this call. Daniel is one of the biggest chat developers at LimeChain, and he's helping a lot with basically Solidity development with the DAO and the yield farming and Landworks. He's actually came up with the Landworks idea and has designed the architecture already. So shout out to Daniel. Hopefully he'll join us on the next call. So that's the team intro. Right back to EnterDAO. The big vision behind it is that we see the metaverse, the Web2 metaverse, as the next big let's call it like marketing or social space, kind of what social media was 10, 15 years ago. However, this one is much more engaging because it's gamified and because it allows people to own the assets within those platforms in a decentralized way. We saw like several true projects that we've been involved with, like Polymorphs, Boson Protocols at LimeChain, and a bunch of others that we're seeing these gaps in the market. The first one being the demand for Metaverse land, the lack of access to it, and basically the capital inefficiency that happens around it. People cannot lease it, people cannot rent it. Most people that have land, they hold it just to flip it at a later stage, which is not really efficient. And this is why we've committed to build Landworks and later on Metaportal, which we hope to improve the overall gaming experience within Metaverse games. To do so, as we've been involved in the Web3 community over the last few years, we only wanted to do this in a decentralized way. This is why we went DAO first. Tyler already mentioned that we collaborated on Barnbridge and Universe, which has been a great learning experience on basically building products in a DAO first manner. And this is basically the main reason why we're doing so. We want to be decentralized from day one and engage the community from day one. This is why we just built first the DAO and the yield farming, so we can enable the community to govern EnterDAO while and after we build the products. We just launched.
Wait, one thing you should add to that, just so everyone knows, like not to toot like my horn or anything, it's more for a safety point. Is we primarily forked the Barnbridge and Universe contracts, both for yield farming and for the DAO. The reason that's important is because people are going to ask about audits, and these contracts were audited like in depth by very many groups. They've been utilized across the ecosystem, and between Barnbridge and Universe, those yield farming contracts have had over, I will say a billion, if not billions of dollars of deposits and withdrawals. Not even to mention that like Opium Finance used them as well. And the DAO, a lot of people that like are joining this community often are following some like me and George and Z and the LimeChain team through some other things that we've worked on together. So there'll be overlap, like obviously from the Barnbridge and Universe community. So they're battle tested contracts. People kind of know how they work. There's documentation that we can pull from those projects. But when people are asking about the audits, obviously like trust and but verify. Like when Chainlink God was looking at the yield farming contracts for Universe, I sent him the Barnbridge audits, and he basically just ensured that the code hadn't been altered in any major way. But with that said, like, yes, these are audited. Yes. But more importantly, they're battle tested, which is way more powerful than audits, right? Like once you see contracts process billions of dollars of transactions, that's, I mean, not every time, but by a rule of thumb, that normally means that they're safer than what even an audit could do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I echo that. I was the one that was deploying the contracts, and essentially I have not written a single line of Solidity apart of like just doing the renaming of like some stuff that's there, like that. I took the Universe contracts because they're already, and I didn't want to change pretty much anything apart from parameters around this thing. Probably the only thing that's different is the Enter token, but the Enter token is completely unmodified Open Zeppelin token that has permits, which I think is great, because in SushiSwap, you're probably going to be able to trade in a single transaction rather than actually having infinite approvals and stuff like this, which I think is great in general, because it's a better UX there. So apart from this,
is the Enter token similar to the bond token where there's no mint function, or is it similar to Universe where we have a mint function to bring people longer term into the project?
It's similar to Universe, where the DAO can decide to create more tokens if it decides to.
Yep. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, in this sense, it's similar to the Universe, and in terms of like usability, it's similar to something that DAI has, which is these permits, where you can essentially swap in a single transaction instead of you going approve and then you're going for swap. Probably if SushiSwap does everything correctly, and the rest of the DEXs, probably this thing is going to be happening in a single transaction, which is, I think it's awesome.
Nice. And
cool.
Yeah, what's up? Did anybody?
Yeah, just finish up your stuff, and I wanted to say a couple more things about EnterDAO.
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to wrap up the yield farming and DAO staking update that we just launched yield farming and staking yesterday. We already got 21 million in TVL, which is a great start. We have most of the pools up and running. There will be one more pool open, two more pools actually opening soon. One of those would be League DAO, and the other one would be the Sushi LP pool, which will run for 100 weeks. As all of the other pools are 20 weeks. The Sushi pool will be live next week. People would be able to basically stake their LP tokens to earn more Enter. So that's the yield farming. For everyone that's interested, or needs a demo, there's this guy called Crypto Prowess that made a video on it. You can find it on our Twitter. We just posted it today. So this is like a video of how our yield farming works, but it's pretty intuitive, it's pretty straightforward, and most importantly, like Tyler said, it's audited and it's battle tested, so it's all safe. That's it on the farming. George?
Yeah, mine is not on the farming. Mine is in general on the EnterDAO like vision and then things that we want to do. So is it the correct time to talk on it now?
Let me just give an update on the timeline, and then I'll pass the ball to you to basically
go for it.
More high level. In terms of timeline, we just launched yield farming in the DAO as we're going down first. Next one on our timeline is the NFT drop, which we hope to push late October. That will give, we've onboarded a fire artist here that's currently working on the art. We hope this will serve both as a great collectible and as a utility NFT that will provide access to some really nice Metaverse events, games, and perks. After the NFT drop, we're aiming to launch Landworks hopefully late November, early December. And we have Meta Portal aimed for Q1 of next year, which is probably our most complex product. With that being said, once Landworks is launched, we'll be continuing working on it as we need to integrate more Metaverse games and more functions to it. So it's not going to be a one-off drop. We'll continue to build on our products as we go forward, and all of these decisions are basically going to be governed by the DAO and the Enter token.
And just to add a little bit nuance on this, these are the things that we have in our heads at this point, but we are not necessarily sequencing these things in these ways, because we have people committed, dedicated on working on each of these products, and if something happens faster, we won't withhold it just for the sake of withholding it. As soon as we have the thing ready, we're probably going to be dropping it in there. So probably we might excite you and actually get there early with some of these things. I know that Vlad is already having great progress on some things that are working and brewing behind under the hood there. But tentatively, this is how we feel that probably these things are going to sequence. Cool, Z, do you want anything else to talk about, anything else on the timeline?
I think we've covered pretty much most of it. I wanted just to touch base on basically community questions that we've had over the last week. The the number one question, basically the only thing that the community has been asking, apart from like how yield farming works, but like I think it's pretty clear by now, is about how people can get Enter tokens. Obviously, people can farm them, and there will be sushi pool next week, so people can get it from there, and they can stake it in the DAO to basically earn DAO staking rewards and help activate the DAO. We have a threshold of 5% of the total supply that needs to be staked in the DAO in order to activate it, at which point the treasury will be handed out to basically to the Enter token holders to be governed. Some people have noticed that there are already DAO staking rewards being accumulated for week 1. Those are some of the team and early contributors tokens that have vested over last week. But we're going, as we don't want to front run the community on this, we're going to give away most of that for various community incentives and engagement mechanisms. That's pretty much the only question that the community.
I'm farming in there, and I thought about that we probably should have put it to later in the next week, but I just was like, because my one of my family members asked about it because they're following the project. Sure. I just said it's only 1 week. I don't think it's like a huge deal, but I can donate what I farm this week out of that pool into wherever it needs to go. Yeah. So just let me know, like I can send it back to the multi-sig.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, pretty much all of us are doing the same.
Yeah, okay. It was basically the same line of thought, like it's only 1% of the total rewards, but we realized it's kind of unfair to front run the community on rewards. So we're basically going to give those back to either the treasury or to the community or to like a mix of both.
Well, just so the community knows, there are like investor groups or like VCs or like they're not all like gonna send it back because it affects their taxes and their LPs. Like they're not, there's like legal reasons they're not gonna like do donations, but everybody, like the bulk majority of it right now is gonna be like core teams. So, and I think I was one of the bigger investors, so I'll actually like financial contributors, I guess is what we should call it. And so I'll send all of mine back. But yeah, that's the one thing that I want to say is if y'all see a discrepancy, don't think that we're being disingenuous. We just can't make like, a big fund act altruistically, unfortunately.
Yeah. Cool. And on the LP, on the sushi LP, essentially you said it's coming next week. It's pretty much whenever the community decides to open it up, because it's not us that's going to be opening up. We're going to be counting on the community to open this up. So we cannot say like it's going to come in Wednesday, but we feel that probably it makes sense for people to open it up as soon as like the first week ends, because the rewards that are part of this staking that's going to start on the after the second epoch, after the first epoch, are actually pretty sweet. So it would make sense for people to actually go ahead and open up this pool and start staking the liquidity pool tokens in this, because it's probably the most potent pool there for farming.
Nice.
Cool.
I think this was the biggest like lingering question that was out there. For the next calls, we're going to basically open up a Discord channel that we're going to collect questions that are going to be answered on these calls. Liam will take care of this. And also for people that don't have time to basically listen to the whole calls, they want like a shorter update. We're also writing a newsletter, which Liam is in charge of, where we'll both present basically a summary of these calls, updates around EnterDAO, and like some general Metaverse related news for the community. So there should be a text, this in text content as well.
Alrighty.
Well, I think this was pretty much it for the first call.
Do you want me to go? Can I have like 2 minutes? I wanted to share something.
The floor is all yours, George.
Yeah, I was like, you started the call with the thing about the vision for the EnterDAO, and I wanted to chip in there, but I didn't want to interrupt you, so I guess I'll just add it in here. Like, it's important to me to actually talk about, like, yeah, we are going to be creating products, but like, I think it's important for us to also talk about the vision of all of this, of where we think it's going to go. And although these are just the several products that we have in mind already, we are also thinking about the people behind the metaverse, like, because it's the metaverse is actually the thing that's going to enable for people to actually be more empowered, to be more in charge of what's there. So we have already outlined like several groups of people, of stakeholders, if this makes sense, that we want to cater for. We're going to strive caring for. We're going to strive, and our decisions and our movements and our proposals for the DAO are going to be towards catering to these different groups of people. And just to outline them, like the people that we are speaking here for are obviously first and most of all are essentially the metaverse players, the people that are going to be using the metaverse, the people that are going to become native to the metaverse. Like this is the new age of people, the new age of social media, the people that are going to be there, roaming there, gaming there, like having fun there, observing meteor showers and whatever it is, everything that's happening in the metaverse. So these are going to be like the group that we would want to gather a lot of, because we want to make their time worthwhile, and we believe that metaverse are going to make their time worthwhile. Apart from these obvious things are people that are wanting to advertise in metaverses, like people that want to grab the attention of the people using the metaverses. So essentially, we are also going to try and cater towards brands that are looking for new age way of advertising, because all of this calls for a completely shift of paradigm of how advertising is happening, because currently advertising is kind of static, is kind of non-interactive, but with metaverses you're actually getting a unique chance never happened before for you to be an interactive advertiser, for you to create not something that you're just telling to your audience, but something for your audience to actually engage and click and play with, which is kind of unique, which is something that's going to give like something that is completely new for the advertising space in general. On top of this, as Z said, like there are the metaverse landowners, metaverse asset owners. Like we want to cater to them in order to give them a better capital efficiency for their assets there, better ways for them to be to utilize their capital. And last but not least, like we also want to figure out a way for us to groom a community of so-called new age services. Like these are people that are good in creating 3D visuals. It might be models, it might be games, it might be the new age advertisements that the brands are going to use. So we are all going to try and nicely like tie all of these together so that we actually end up with this nice community of people that are using their unique skills in order to help each other, in order to help everyone have a wonderful time in the metaverse. So this is like a massive daunting task that we're undertaking, but we are super happy in doing so, and we are super excited because we're going to be doing that. And yeah, that's what's for me.
Nice. I think it's a great way to wrap it all up. Obviously, we're building this in a very community-centric way. So if anyone wants to get involved or has ideas about the direction of EnterDAO, this is why the Discord is there. We're all super active in there, and we're always open up to new ideas, collaborations, and basically onboarding new people. So feel free to hit us up if you think you can contribute to EnterDAO in any way. Does anybody have anything to add, or should we wrap it up?
Yeah. When is the next update call?
Those are going to be every 2 weeks.
Okay.
We need to see if it's going to be the same time next week or in 2 weeks, but those are going to be bi-weekly. And Liam will be writing a newsletter, which is going to be weekly. So we'll have pretty much going on in terms of content.
All right.
So it's just going to kind of be like an AMA, really, from whatever questions the community has in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mix of basically us giving an update and answering all the community calls.
Yeah, cool.
because sometimes it's also valuable for the community to hear us brainstorming about, or basically talking about products and our basically daily operations and how we work, so they're more aware of what's going on in EnterDAO. So it's going to be a mix of both. Cool. Well,
All right.
Very good.
that's a wrap. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for watching. And we'll make sure to release the recording soon and see you all in the Discord.
All right.
See you
Cool.
next time.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Guys,
Bye.
bye bye.
Bye bye.